Look, we've all been burned by mysterious trailers that turn into generic shooters. I went into Pragmata half expecting a pretty tech demo with a clunky escort mission attached. What I actually found was a tight, 12-hour action game that's more interested in testing your multitasking skills than just your aim. It's a weird sci-fi dad sim that actually has some mechanical teeth. I put the time in on Xbox and a little bit on Steam Deck, so let's figure out if this is a genuine Capcom win or just a very expensive lunar experiment. Pragmata is a sci-fi action-adventure from the heavy hitters at Capcom. Released right after the Artemis II has landed safely back on Earth. Good timing if you ask me. You're playing as Hugh, an investigator who gets stranded on a lunar facility after a moonquake wipes out his team. You're not alone for long though. You're joined by Diana, a little android girl who is basically your key to survival. It dropped on April 17 for PC, PS5, the Series X and S, and even the Switch 2. It's currently sitting at around 50 quid, which is about 65-70 US, and it's a focused, linear experience, no open world bloat here, and it's a full release, not an early access gamble. The thing that caught me off guard is the combat. It isn't just a third-person shooter. It's more like a rhythm game mixed with a puzzler. Hugh's weapons, even the big ones, don't actually do that much to these 3D printed enemies until Diana hacks them. So you're literally aiming and dodging with the sticks while your fingers are flying across the faceplate to solve a hacking grid in real time on the side of the screen. It sounds like a nightmare, but once it clicks, it's brilliant. You're darting your eyes between the boss's next attack and the grid to see if you can hit a freeze node or a healing node before the hack finishes. It's the perfect level of stressful but fair. The progression feels very classic Capcom. You start with this absolute bin fire of a pistol, 6 rounds, slow reload, basically a pea shooter. But as you find materials, you're building shotguns, rocket launchers, and even decoy guns. You end up using all of them too. Ammo is scarce enough that you can't just main one weapon. By the time you hit the boss fights and that giant scorpion halfway through is a proper stand up and lean in moment. You're cycling through your entire kit and scrambling for new weapons just to stay alive. I was also pleasantly surprised by the shelter. It's your classic safe room hub. You can mess around with training simulators, which are a bit like the FF7 remake ones, or just spend time with Diana. You find these REM replicators out in the world, basically toys and collectibles, and bringing them back to the hub actually makes the bond between Hugh and Diana feel earned. It's not just a cutscene relationship, it's built in the downtime. It's not all lunar sunshine though. The looting is a massive pain in the ass. You have to be incredibly precise to pick up items, and when you're mid-boss fight trying to grab a weapon drop while dodging a laser, the clunkiness really shows. It feels like an old school friction that we should have moved past by 2026. Then there's the story pacing. The game tries to force this emotional connection within the first 20 minutes. Hugh and Diana go from strangers to best buds way too fast. Diana herself is going to be a lover or hater character. Her voice acting can occasionally lean into that high-pitched anime trope territory that gets a bit grating after 10 hours. Also, a quick warning on the navigation. The map is rubbish. It's a 3D mess that doesn't actually help you find the collectibles you've missed. You rely more on the tram menus than the actual in-game map. But to be fair, it's quite linear, so you'll find your way anyway. Quick word on performance. I played mainly on Series X and it's rock solid. But if you're a handheld gamer, this is an S-tier Steam Deck game. The RE engine is basically black magic at this point. It hits 40 FPS easily while still looking great. And the shortish mission structure fits the pick up and play vibe perfectly. If this is helping you decide whether to spend your 50 quid or keep it in your pocket, do me a favor and hit the like button. I try to keep these reviews as grounded as possible so you know exactly what you're getting into before you hit download. So this is for the person who wants a high budget, weekend clear game. If you love Dead Space or Resident Evil but want something that feels mechanically fresh, this is an easy recommend. If you're only here for a deep, emotional narrative and you usually hate child companion stories, you might find the early hours a bit of a slog. But for the rest of us, it's a refreshing change of pace. Pragmata is a buy for me, but if some of the above points don't click, maybe wait for a sale. Capcom is firing on all cylinders lately, and this is proof they can still do original ideas without leaning on Resident Evil as a crutch. The combat duality is genuinely innovative, and the art direction is some of the best I've seen this year. Yes, the looting is fiddly and the map is a joke, but the core loop of shoot, hack, survive is so satisfying that those gripes eventually fade into the background. It's a unique, polished, and surprisingly emotional journey that's absolutely worth your time.
Take this!
If you've been playing Pragmata, let me know in the comments. Did the hacking system click for you, or did you find it a bit too much to juggle? Anyway, see you guys in the next one.